You are welcome in the old city of Jerusalem. At the same time, you are welcome at the African quarter, which you will never see on the map, or if you go with an Israeli tour guide, they will never talk about. So, in fact, just now we are sitting at the African quarter. African quarter because if you take the first generation, like my father, they came from Africa. My father came from Chad. A group came from Nigeria, a group from Senegal, and a group from Sudan. As pilgrims, they were in Mecca. They came here, stayed here, and began to marry from the Palestinian side. So we, the second and the third and the fourth generation, we regard ourselves as Afro-Palestinians. We are about 40 families in those two places. The newly married brothers and sisters are obliged to move out because in the meantime the space is the same since our fathers came and the population is coming up. At the same time, it's very risky to be here. We had a brother 6 years ago, he built one room on top of the roof of his parents. So he has to pay a fine of money, 30,000 shekels, to demolish the room by his own hands. He was obliged to do it, otherwise they will do it and he has to pay for the expenses, which is unbelievable. Now, it's really important to give an idea about the way we are living with Palestinians and the way with the Israelis. With Palestinians, usually I say we have a unique position. We are well accepted, well respected. If you go around today, you find brothers married to Palestinian girls, you find Palestinians married to sisters from the quarter. We have no problem with the colors here. Now, such a unique position we had, it's because of our contribution in the national struggle. For example, if you take the first Palestinian female to be put in Israeli jails in 1967 came from this quarter. She's the second generation. I'm talking about Sister Fatima Barnawi. The father from Nigeria, the mother from Jericho. She was sentenced 30 years, of which she passed 11 years. Deported, she came back in 1994 with Chairman Arafat. Today she is the chief of the Palestinian police female in the Palestinian Authority. Now me myself in 1968 I was arrested, sentenced 20 years of which I passed 17 years. From 1968 up to 1985. I was released in a big exchange of prisoners. Now our relation with the Israelis is totally different. I say to Palestinians, when we talk about oppression, I say to them, look sisters, brothers, you are oppressed, but we as Afro-Palestinians, we are double oppressed. As Palestinians, and second because of our color. They call us Kushiniers, Sambo. If you know that in the Israeli society you have various Jewish groups. Today the most discriminated are our people from Ethiopia. The Falasha, you can see some of the soldiers, men and women. These are our people from Ethiopia. Let's say late in the 80s there was a campaign of donation of blood. So those people, the Falasha went like other Israelis, donated blood. At the end of the day they found that all blood donated by them was thrown to the garbage. 6 years ago there was a big scandal in this country. A sister, member of the parliament, went to get blood in Haifa, in a hospital called Echelo. They refused to take the blood. Well, concerning racism and discrimination in the Israeli society, it's an ideology. Now, I think it's very important that you are in this place today, in this country. For you as personal experience, you will not be any more illusioned by the Israelis. So when I meet some brothers or sisters from the USA or from Africa, I say to them, don't think the Israelis like you or respect you. They just like your green money, you see. And I think it's very important because once you go back home, you can deliver such a message to our people because unfortunately many of our people are really illusioned by the Israelis. And I see many of them going to the Israeli tour guide, and when I walk with my clients, I'm a tour guide, I say to my clients, I intend to let our people listen or hear me. I say to my clients, now we are heading to the African quarter. None of them dares to look at me. Yeah. So it's good you are here. At the same time, don't have the feeling that you are tourists. You are coming back to your original homeland. We ourselves, I say always, we are not tourists, we are not passers, they are not doing a favor to us. Now, if you go around in this country, we are all over the country. We are about 600,000. If you go to the south of the West Bank, close to Hebron, you find Afro-Palestinians. If you go to the north of the West Bank, there are such areas you just only see our people. Now, if you go to Gaza also, and mainly to the cities like Rafah and Khan Yunis, a lot of the Afro-Palestinians over there. The only difference between us and those groups that I can say to you simply, my father came from Chad. But if you ask them where your father came, we say in general he came from Africa, but which country he came? And they say, you are Palestinians, because they were living in this land since generations and generations and generations. Have a look on this picture, for example. The picture over here, yeah. The man holding the rope of the camel is the Caliph Umar al-Khattab. He's the third man after Prophet Muhammad. Look on the man who's riding the camel. This is brother Bilal ibn Rabah from Ethiopia. He used to be the main muazzin of Prophet Muhammad, meaning the one who used to call for the prayer, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So we are deeply rooted here. So once you go around, don't feel uneasy, no. You are back home. So please, if you have any question.
Anyone any questions for the Ali?
Would you say that you are I think the question I just asked you, are you the descendant of Ishmael? Ishmael? That's what I just asked you, right?
What?
He asked in terms of, do you feel yourself a descendant of Ishmael from Abraham, son of Abraham?
Yeah.
So
We are Semites. Yeah. So nobody can charge us of anti-Semitism. On the contrary, you're this crazy man, Trump, who has a serious problem here and here.
We don't know which one's worse. Or
Well, I say it's normal in the USA. You have always a problem with your presidents. Bill Clinton had the ability to control the whole world, has no ability to control the lower part of the body. Issue of Monica. Then Bush came, the son, in the upper part. There was a problem. Today you have Trump. Up and down.
We're trying to get it out of our system.
So imagine the world is controlled by this man, up and down.
I mean,
Yes, please.
who was the president that was the coconut?
Obama.
He said Obama was a coconut. You know, like coconut is white inside and brown outside.
He was just a puppet in the hands of both bastards, fucking mothers.
Yeah, unfortunately.
White, blonde, blue eyes.
Unfortunately,
He's the president who did the most services, good service to the Israelis. In spite of that, they don't like him
Right.
because of his color.
it's true. It's true.
I have only two brothers, two copies. Other two copies in French.